Planet Zoo, Planet Zoo, it's time to play Planet Zoo.
Hello and welcome back to Talbot National Zoo here on Planet Zoo. I'm Martini number 4, and this is what I have finished here for my Meerkat, Sandcat, and Fennec Foxes. I figured I would give you a preview of the finished product since I had some issues recording this. I just lost a bunch of stuff. Things kept crashing, and a lot of recordings are just gone. Don't know what happened, but most of the Meerkat build is missing, and some of the other stuff. A lot of the detailing that I did on the inside of the building here, with the pictures and plants and whatnot, that's all gone. But most of the habitat for the Fennec Fox is there. The finished part of the structural part of the roof and the building is still in the recording, so I just figured I would start out this way, kind of let you take a look and see how things have progressed. Finally finished with this one, and I am very happy with being done. It didn't turn out perfect, but I'm fairly happy with it. It's not too bad. The roof doesn't look too great in some spots, but that's okay. I just tried to make it somewhat symmetrical and kind of have a little design so it didn't just look like everything was thrown up there. I had so much trouble with a lot of this build. I think I jumped in too deep for my second habitat. I think for a while some of my following builds and the houses and backstage areas are going to be a lot less intricate and complicated, more boxy. Probably not. I like making round buildings and having curves, but maybe take a little break from here and there. Don't want everything to look the same. So here, this is where I started working on the Meerkat, which they're going on this side of the building. And then this side over here is where the Fennec Foxes are going to be. And just trying to figure out what I want to do, how I want the habitat to be shaped. I had an idea, but trying to execute that idea wasn't the easiest. I think I made the circular structure a little too small, and I didn't really want to go back and redo that for whatever reason. So I just decided to roll with it and extend it from there, which turned out to be okay. Both of these habitats are definitely big enough to house all the animals that I want to put in there. Unlike the Sandcats, that was ridiculous. And this is about all the footage I have for my Meerkat habitat. And then we jump over to the Fennec Fox. Yeah, that really sucked because I did a lot of work on that habitat, and after I finished it, I went to go check the video and it was not recording anymore. So that was great. So over here, I wanted this to kind of mirror what I did on the Meerkats as far as the shape of the outside of the building goes. I know it's not 100% perfect, but it's good enough. Um, all in all, it turned out really well. I make a lot of changes. I forgot how tall these walls were, and I have to sink them into the ground a little bit later. I also downloaded these from the workshop. I'm sure most of you have seen these. It has all the color codes for the aquatic rocks that matches all the natural rocks. So like on this one, I wanted to use that little tunnel archway thing, but I always have trouble matching the colors. I heard another YouTuber mention that those were on the workshop, and you can just pull the color codes off of it and match it perfectly. So that's what I did. I'll probably put a link down in the description for those of you that didn't know about them. That's really, really awesome that somebody went through and did that, because I have such a hard time trying to match the colors. Even just coming up with a color scheme, as I mentioned before, is pretty difficult for me. So here, I covered the entire walls with the rock. I cut a lot of that out because it was pretty boring just watching me put rocks on the wall. And just building a little bit of rock work inside the habitat to let the foxes kind of hide when there's too many guests. I do end up putting in a burrow. I have a burrow in both of these habitats, and they go in there quite often to get away from everyone. I like to follow them in there and watch them sleep sometimes. Not the most exciting life, but hey, who hasn't done it, right? So here's where I decided I needed to lower the walls, and then I start struggling with pathing yet again. Always struggling with the pathing. I think I messed around with this for 10 or 15 minutes before I actually got it to where I was okay with it. It wasn't perfect, but it was the best I was going to get, so that is how I left it. I also struggled again on the second floor with the pathing over top the Fennec Fox enclosure. That one, that was a good half hour of messing around with this stupid path. And I am sorry, I thought I cut a lot of this out, but apparently I did not. Here I just decided to grab the fence to kind of keep the design cohesive and kind of matching the rest of the area. Close off some stuff so people aren't just walking through the dirt and across the landscaping. And then I had to move all of these around since I finally decided that I was going to keep everything like this with the paths and stuff. I had to change up my landscape, which I knew I would. I believe I said in an earlier episode that I just kind of put stuff down to have it there and knew I was going to have to change it later. Always got to get that education in there. It gets kind of tedious putting the same things down over and over again. And I really should go through and build some boxes around some of those, make them look a little nicer. I'll probably do that off camera when I'm bored sometime. And then I'll go through and show you guys what I come up with. Now we got the planting and a little bit more rock work for the habitat. I love these little rocks. They're so awesome. Sometimes I go a little bit overboard with them, and then sometimes I feel like I don't have enough. But they're super cool. It adds a lot of detail to the habitat. I know a lot of other creators, their habitats look amazing, and I try to do that with mine, but I don't want to overdo things, and then I don't feel like it looks good enough, but I don't want to go back and change it because I'm afraid it's going to make the habitat too small for the animal. So if you have any suggestions, if anybody's watching this, leave me a comment. I don't know. Give me some advice. Let me know what to do. Should I just go for it and plop down a whole bunch of stuff? See what happens? Oh, and here I'm trying to link up the burrow with the screen. I've never done that before. And I struggled a little bit. Kind of clicked on everything before I finally figured it out. So I decided I was going to do it with the meerkats as well, and immediately forgot how to do it, but it didn't take long. I got it up and running as well. Oh yeah, and I forgot to change my barriers. So it said that the foxes had escaped when they actually hadn't. Yeah, all the little things that I forget about from time to time. It's a little annoying. And then I forgot that I was going to cover up all of the seams for the glass, so I went back and did that. Not the best looking cover up. In reality, I would like to just have everything look like you're in a cave in here with holes for viewing, but that was a little more than I was willing to take on right now. Now I've got some of the inside detail work here, just covering up some of the holes that I couldn't get the flooring to cover up without messing up my pathways. Just putting some rocks down, throwing in some plants just to kind of make it look a little nicer and more jungly. I guess we're not really in a jungle though. We're in a desert habitat, so make it more deserty. And there's a lot of these plants that I don't see a lot of people use, but I just love them, like those nettles. I love using those, and to me it sounds like they're a weed, but I don't know, I could be wrong. So here we got the floor, or the walls on the second story. I didn't really want to put anything else up there, so I decided to just cover it with a wall. It's just blank space behind it. There's nothing back there. And you'll see, well, as you saw in the opening scene, there's pictures, screenshots that I took of all the animals, and just kind of introduces everyone to them when they walk up there. So I thought that was a nice little addition. And this is where I took about half an hour trying to get the pathway working. I tried everything I could to to get it closer, but I ended up on this right here. Now I finally am starting on the roof. Almost done with this build. The roof did take me a long time. I didn't know what I had an idea of what I wanted it to look like. Did not know how to execute it until I just started laying things down. A lot of stuff didn't line up the way I would have liked it to. And these glass pieces get me every time on the direction of them. I always have to flip them around. Otherwise they don't line up right. But I know I wanted the glass wall like this with an angled skylight. And you'll see I just put some black plaster walls behind the angled skylight, and remembered that I wanted another window there afterwards, so I had to go back and change it all. I believe I did that off camera though, so you won't have to sit through all of that. Getting this part of the roof figured out was just agonizing. I think that's why I'm gonna kind of stick to more square buildings for a little while until I get a little more time under my belt. Like I said, I'm not truly impressed with the way it turned out, but it was the best I could do, so can't complain, I guess. And for whatever reason, I could not get these roof pieces to snap into place right. When it looked like they were snapped in, there was still a gap above everything. So I had to go through and manually adjust it and move it all around, disconnect it from the building, and then I ended up not even using those. Getting this part of the skylight actually went a lot easier than I anticipated. The glass lined up a lot better than anything else. Of course, there's still some overlap, but I think if you have it kind of symmetrical and matching and pretend like that's how you wanted it, then it's okay. The edges over here really gave me some issues. I think I went through a couple of different trial and errors, just trying to get it to match up and look right. Oh, and as I'm recording this, apparently Frontier has released their anniversary animal. From what I understand, it's a collared peccary, which reminds me of Red Dead Redemption 2, which I was just playing not too long ago. So I think if I build them a habitat, I'll probably rename a couple of them to John and Abigail. I'm sure I won't be the first one. I'm a little late to the game, so I'm not really ready to build a habitat for those guys. I have somewhat of a plan for this zoo. I'm going to continue with the Africa area. In the next episode, I built an administration building for all of the research buildings, all of our staff buildings and whatnot. Kind of over where they're sitting by the front gate, right on the other side of the path from our desert house here. It's going to be based on a what do you call it? An urgent care building that I pass when I go to town. They just built it, and I thought the style was pretty cool looking. It's got a really a roof that has a bunch of angles to it. Not just a regular flat or just one slope. It has some ups and downs, and it's just pretty cool. The build is already done, and I think it turned out really nice. It's the second time I've tried building it in Planet Zoo here. The first one was just on a practice zoo, and I think the second one turned out a lot better. So you will see that in the next episode. Here, like I said, I had trouble with the roof, just trying to make all the angles sticking out of there look a little bit symmetrical and have some sort of design to them, just to kind of make them not look so horrible. But I think we're about done with this build. We'll be coming up on the end cinematic here, so I would like to thank everyone that stuck around and watched this, and please hit that subscribe button. I'm up to 4 subscribers right now, so help me out, guys. I've been putting out some shorts and trying to put out a few videos quickly just to kind of get everything all built up. So give me a like and subscribe, help with that algorithm. And I'll leave you here to watch the end of this build and check out the end cinematic at the end. Hope you guys have a great day. Thanks. Bye.